Final piece for tonight. Some people struggle deeply about discarding, neglecting or ignoring the potential 85%, and that came up again several times this week, now known as bots. And I do get that worry, fear, concern all of you exhibit. I have bot people in my own family, and so it's not like I'm not surrounded by it as well. But sometimes I feel people think the radio show host does not have any feelings, emotions, or concerns as they deliver the information, all of which was filtered by myself. In most cases, the information I have put out has been swirling around in my head for over a decade. A decade of knowing sometimes horrible, horrific, and disturbing knowledge and wondering how to approach it, when to approach it, and what will the reactions be. Most will react to the information, but some choose to use the deliverer of the information as some sort of venting screen to spew angst at. But people often forget that I have the same, if not more, emotions to cope with, unearthing this information, connecting the dots over prolonged periods of time, and you get to hear it in one or more 3-hour shows, but those shows can take 40 to 100 hours to produce, with years of background knowledge, or as we call it, sin eating. By the time it reaches your ears, it has undergone much processing, research, editing, and filtering. As often is the case, some parts are left out for the benefit of the listening to grasp parts of it in smaller chunks. And that is all done by your host and other hosts who are involved in this type of work, although there is very few at the level of widespread knowledge that has come out of THI due to us covering so many topics, and in fact some of the material being unique to THI only. So I do get what you feel on bots, sleepers, synths, trust me. But the great question remains is, what support did they give to us? Bots are ones and zeros and computer matrix-like. Why should a non-binary organic being engage something that is a zero or returns zero in the way of compassion, understanding, or support? The reason only is, and the difference between us both is, we care and they don't. They don't raise their vibration, they lower it. They are the city of light people who partake only in the service of the self, leaving us to sin eat our way through life, cast us out of families, friend circles, relationships, and society in general. They ridiculed us and dismissed us to a point of becoming almost leper-like. These are the same people who created the cults, delivered the programs on us all, and played the false authority games and their ultimate control system, all designed to keep us down. I warned in November 2017 it was too late for those people. Now you can all see why for yourselves. But they will always try to pull you into their morass. But as a zero, they have no numeric value. 85% of zeros is still 0. Do you understand that? The John Hopkins sender won't, as basic maths to them is beyond their skill set. Then why engage something that has no numeric value? You observe, not absorb. Absorbing them pulls you away from your path and higher frequency level, and you must not allow them to do that. People often think of it in terms of losing people, whether they are dead or not. But you never really lose anyone, as they are stored in your DNA memory database. And yes, it's painful when people split. I know that all too well this year, with 2 living departures and also 1 non-living departure as well. But with regards to the living people, you didn't lose those people. They lowered their frequency, or your frequency went up and they could no longer match it. That is the real science behind splits. The more you awaken to the real truth, the further you go away from the masses. That is how it works. But we have all spent way too much time lowering our own frequencies or knowledge base to accommodate others who lack one or the other, or both. So yes, splits with people are painful, but they are also growth opportunities as well. And it comes down to how you, or which path you go at the end of the day. It all comes down to you, of how or which path you go down following it. This is a giant snakes and ladders game. Snakes make you go down or backwards. The ladders are your own frequency boosts that make you go up or forward. And when you get to the 100, series or not, you win the game. But remember, there are more snakes than ladders. Love is what separates us from the binary people. We love life, each other, and we care. They just don't. No matter how much you analyse or scrutinise it. You could say we have a moral compass. Morals, yes. Compass, no. Why? Because a compass is connected to maritime, which is the female variant, Mary time, to father time, Chronos. The meaning of compass was to go in a circle, go around, which is the hamster wheel, the loop, the repeat patterns and cycles. The mathematical instrument for describing circles was so called in English from the mid-14th century. The mariner's directional tool, so called since the early 15th century, took the name perhaps because it's round and has a point like a mathematical instrument. But its other meanings, compass, is limits and boundary. The limitation program. And from the early 14th century, it meant to surround, contain, and envelop, and enclose. The boxes of limitation which became the labels. We are not labels, boxes, limited beings, or binary people. We are the triality, the one-on-one with the one, and never forget that. Like the compass, everything is ship or water related, as we have covered in the From Russia with Love series. Governor, citizen, gamesman, battle, companion, steward, trustee, scholar, dealer, owner, ruler, space, town, and the current ship control word called censor. With rivers that have banks which collects the deposits, birth canals and the waters breaking, no wonder we are drowning in debt courtesy of the Holy See, SEA, and their maritime. But perhaps the dark forces are just reminding us of how it ended last time with the great flood that the Hebrew Anunnaki Noah and his off-world family all knew about, to continue the takeover of our planet. But we rebuilt and we returned and we survived their latest culling of the world. But now we have to rebuild the world in our image and a better one than the last. A deep discussion took place on the timepiece last week that has engaged deep thinking patterns within us all, and one member said this: much of the scientific theory on subjects like thermodynamics and the Maxwell equation is limiting because they removed the frequency component from them, which changes the interpretation. Science teaches techniques, not universal whys and hows. What is missing is the understanding of accessing energy from source. Exactly. Source did emit the energies, but they mirror reverse the emit into time. We the people are going to require thicker skin, self-mastery and togetherness for the next stage. Because next comes the naming and shaming of the people who refuse the old systems of control as the next layer of indoctrination of the public done by media, magazines, newspapers, billboards and advertisements will be bad enough. But the general COVIDiot-based public, you know full well, will participate in it also. They always do. To feel self-satisfied and smug that they are on the right side. Time will prove they were not. Just maybe it is close to time when bots get short-circuited. When it goes from an assay to an array. What a glorious, sunny, solar day that will be. This has been the Truth, Honour and Integrity Show. My name's Thomas Williams. Bye for now.